Giddy up, kids, because today we are in class. Show of hands. Show of hands. I'm going to take a little tally. It's like we're sitting in kindergarten, okay? Who here wants unbiased news? Just the straight up facts. It doesn't lean this way. It doesn't lean that way. It's just the straight up facts, and you could use your little brains to decipher and decide from there. Show of hands. Everyone in the back. Yes, the teacher's pet and overachievers in the front. I am taking a tally, a count of everyone. Raise your hands. I know I'm included. Since this is classes in session, I'm going to drop a little knowledge bomb on you. Apparently, in 2020, if you want simple, plain, unbiased news, I hate to break it to you, my friend, you're a racist. This is something that multiple people over this lovely weekend had the audacity to say to me on social media when I was begging on my knees, not sexually, or maybe, I don't even know, we're pretty desperate for unbiased news. The Xanax is running dry because people are fucking nutty and they are mental. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to take you guys all on this spiritual journey because I know you're like, what? I am not a political expert by any means. And I'm sure that a lot of journalists in my shoes could say the same thing, right? But we have this election coming up. It's obviously pouring into pop culture. This we all know. I've talked about it on the podcast. Like, how do you avoid it? I've been really grappling with, okay, how do I go about this? How do I talk about it? Do I just not talk about it? I'm not an expert, but it is pouring into everything. Do I just be quiet? Do I just go in a basement and hide where Joe Biden is playing with Donald Trump's toupee? Like, I don't know. So then here's what this is what gave me a little epiphany. This is the start of the journey. I see that Vogue magazine posted a photo of Haley Baldwin Bieber, however you want to slice it, wearing a Biden shirt. Okay. And in the caption, it says, "We believe in better. So does Haley," basically promoting this Biden-Harris line that they have. Okay. And then in the end, in the caption, it says, "Oh, and don't forget to vote." Number one, when I saw this, I was like, and this is coming, by the way, I'm going to reiterate it for the millionth goddamn time. It is the thing that never ends. I am not one way or the other. And I know that the mainstream media has their panties so far in a bunch that if you even question it, if you are even in the middle, if you're even neutral, you're automatically canceled, wrong, you're right, you're this, you're right wing, this, that, bad, shut up, go in a bunker and die. And by the way, I think the two-party system is trash. I think that it forces people clearly into boxes that they don't necessarily believe in. Like, by default, you're shoved in a box. So I think the whole thing is trash anyway. So with that said, before you label me, I'm just calling it how it is. So number one, I see Vogue post this thing. And I was like, Vogue, do you have any business being this overtly political? And I don't want to be mean because I have friends and colleagues and family who are, I'm not a fashion girl. I'm not going to lie to you. But I have friends and family and hardworking journalists who are. So I'm not going to, diss the fashion industry because the caption also says, fashion has always been political. So that in and of itself is divided because you can have people who are in the business in fashion be like, of course. My initial reaction, though, was like, stick to purses and panties. Stop it. Like, why are you telling us who to vote for? You're in the media. That's journalism. You're still influencing people and how they think. And you are labeling your entire organization as one political party. And by the way, ostracizing any of your readers who don't fall in line. Now, going off of that, that's where it becomes tricky, right? Because like I said, I'm in the pop culture space and I'm talking about this. So people might argue, well, it's free speech. Why shouldn't they? Why shouldn't they stand up and endorse a candidate and be on one side? That's their freedom of speech. That's fair. But I bring it back Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Bring them out. Bring them out. Like Ludacris. No, T.I. Okay, wow. Whitest girl ever. Although I can rap every Ludacris song, so try me, bitch. But in my ideal world as a journalist, and I think many of you would agree, I would love to see one publication, just one, not take us for idiots and spoon feed us what we need to do. Showcase people on all sides. Showcase this left-wing person, showcase this right-wing person, showcase this independent, showcase Kanye. Get inside that crazy ass mind for a minute. Let me know how that goes. Give us all the information and let us decide. Quit taking us for morons. These people who are usually covering clothes are now weighing in on politics. I was like, okay, these people are playing dirty. First of all, pop culture's gone, which we know, like movies, TV, gone in the abyss, in a black hole, in a spaceship, gone, which is really sad. That's been my whole other existential crisis because obviously I'm in that world and I love that world. But now this stuff is taking over. And all of these places that you go for escape, they're now have become political. Not only have they become political, but they're one way. I'm the kind of person too, I don't know about you, but I think this fires me up not only as a journalist, but also just as a, like, quit telling me what to do. Don't fucking tell me what to do. I know that sounds really millennial of me, and I have a mind of my own. Thank you very much. So first I saw the Vogue thing that got me worked up. I was like, okay, so clearly pop culture isn't like the fun and games it used to be. People are really getting down and dirty in this bitch. Then I see Variety post a video with Patty. Did you guys see this? Variety magazine, for those of you guys who aren't in the business, they are known. Okay, I'm just going to say it how it is. It's vanilla. It's boring ass shit that people in Hollywood claim that they read. And again, I don't want to be insulting, although I might have just been. I know people who work there and they're fantastic journalists. And honestly, they're probably too good for Variety. But it's usually like straightforward news about what's going on in Hollywood. So it'll be like, so-and-so got casted by this. So-and-so's, or for this, so-and-so's agent is this studio exec moved over here, that studio, right? Like, who gives a shit? Every now and then you'll get the provocative, like, one-liner from a celebrity about a buzzy topic like diversity or what have you, but that pretty much sums it up. So to see Variety magazine, the most vanilla wafer cone soft serve outlet, post this video, my fucking jaw was on the floor. It's a video of Patti LuPone, the actress, Broadway star, on a red carpet. You know what? I'll do you one better. I'm just gonna play it for you so you can experience it for yourselves. Here you go. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Why should President Trump come see your show?
Well, I hope he doesn't, because I won't perform if he does.
Really?
Really.
Tell me why.
Because I hate the motherfucker. How's that?
By the way, I would be having the same episode and I would be saying the same ass shit if all of these outlets were pro-Trump and bashing Biden the same exact way if the roles were reversed. Because I can't stand that everything is clearly so slanted to be one way over the other. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's that plant. I don't care if it's an alien. I don't care if it's your basket of laundry that you're still letting collect dust because you're still blaming COVID for being a slob. I don't care. I just hate to see all of the bias go one way or the other. And this, to me, I was like, so, and then in the caption too, Variety says, just a reminder, Tony nominees are coming up. The election is coming up, same vein as Vogue, and Patti LuPone is supreme. Say you are minding your business in your cubicle and you say, if so-and-so comes in my office, I hope that they don't because I hate that motherfucker. Your boss would be like, you would be expelled so fast. They'd be like, bitch, get your stapler, get your shit, and be out of here. And that's where it's like, I don't care if you love or hate this man. He's still our president. Some could argue, Taylor, you're all an advocate for free speech. This is free speech. That's true. But again, why are we only, this was so abrasive. And it's like, why are we only seeing it go one way? Oh, Biden, that motherfucker, da, da, da. I don't see any of that as far as it's so skewed. After I saw the Variety thing, that's when I started to be like, I think my aunt's dog is on Prozac. And I literally was like, would it work on a human? And people say we have this really polarizing election coming up. It's gonna fizzle out after that. You guys, honestly, I don't know. If you have Vogue and Variety posting this outright overt shit, I don't know. Do you think it'll go back? I have interviews with celebrities on my own site talking about their boobs and what positions they like in bed. Imagine having that conversation now. It's like we're past the point of no return, right? Because you would almost look at that and be like, what an asshole. Who cares? Like, that seems so stupid. I saw someone post on Instagram saying how so many of our problems and the hate and divide is because of this mainstream media, obviously pushing a singular narrative, not letting anyone else in, canceling anyone who dares to step outside it or not agree or challenge it in any which way. And I have to tell you, I'm in this business. I've worked for many of these mainstream outlets recently. People say, well, what do we do? What do we do to get back? Do we just scrape out? Do we get rid of all the journalists and take on new journalists? I think it goes so far beyond the journalists. You could get rid of every journalist. And by the way, this shit is on both sides. For all of you stomping around angry, thinking that I'm all pro Fox and shit, everyone does this, which is why it's so infuriating. But my point is, it's so deeply rooted in these organizations that it's not just the journalists, you guys. It's the editors. It's the editors I've had. It's the VPs. And it goes so high up that people at these businesses, even if they don't agree, they're never going to say anything because these people have bills to pay. They're not going to speak up and run the risk of getting fired if they disagree. And I bet you, and I can tell you that many people at these publications do disagree or do want to challenge or do have something else to say, but their editors assign them stuff. I've had so many, I've talked about it on the show. How many editors, you guys, have I had be like, no, don't run with that, run with this. So it's either you're afraid to speak up or you do drink the Kool-Aid and you're in on their narrative, or you're sort of sucked into it by default. Not to say brainwashed, but kind of, you sort of believe it. It goes so far deep that it's more than just the journalists you're seeing on TV or whose headlines you're seeing. It's way deeper. It's way beyond that. So yeah, there's that as I fix my bra. So now, the grand finale of how I learned that wanting news that is fair, that is equal, makes you a racist. After having this epiphany and realizing I really can't just shut up about this stuff because it's clearly in my domain and in my field now. And by the way, I had a lot of people be like, yeah, just like keep your thoughts in your DMs or your texts or to yourself. That's sad. I decided to reply and comment on the Vogue picture of Hailey Baldwin. Now, I've heard, of course, about how toxic, social media and fights and arguments have gotten. I don't engage. I say what I have to say on this podcast, but I don't I literally thought about getting rid of my Facebook. I was like, who the fuck argues on there except for like suburban bored middle-aged moms, right? Who has time for that? So I never really got my first taste of it until last night. Sunday service, if you will. This was my Sunday service. I wrote on the Vogue post and I said, now tell me if you think that this is so grotesque. I said, really, Vogue? Are you serious? I said, as a journalist, this is appalling. So much for letting your viewers, your readers think for themselves and encouraging them to think for themselves. I feel like that's pretty neutral. I was called from one woman I'm reading the list because that's how absurd it is. And I think I blocked it out of my memory. PTSD. I was called a fascist, a racist, a white supremacist, disgusting, and somebody who supports the white male patriarchy. Okay. How the fuck do you get from A to B? Like, did I black out? I was like, did I just momentarily take acid and watch that and then this is what's happening? Because how How in the world? I had a friend stick up for me. I was like, who is this Ernest Hemingway reincarnated? She wrote this really beautiful, thought out message to that lady who called me all those names and basically said, first of all, you don't even know this person being me. This woman has, just by looking at me, has created this sort of caricature of this Trump loving, woman hating, redneck person and like shamed me for that. And it's really, really upsetting. Like I said something totally neutral and was personally attacked. This is how my experiment is going. Okay. Gone are the days of dissecting a fucking frog in high school. This is my new experiment, which I didn't even mean to do. I stumbled into it by simply saying an opinion. People are just so angry. They are just waiting for the right, it's like wrong place, wrong time. They don't even care what the fuck you have to say. They do not care. You could say you like funfetti. You could say you like strawberry shortcake, which by the way, funfetti or else you're canceled. And they will take their shit out on you. They don't even give a shit what you have to say. And it's really, really sad. So if you are that person, if you're thinking about blocking a friend, if you're thinking about rolling your eyes at them, think about that. Do you know the complexities? It's like we're making these things, oh, you're this, you're that. And honestly, I hate to say this, I feel like it's working. I even feel it working on me. I can see myself like getting put in one role and then judging other people who are in another box. And then I'm like, oh my God, they're working. They want this. Okay. The mainstream media, they want this. It's working. People are angry and vicious and toxic. So I had someone else chime in and also call me a racist. But before calling me a racist, they said, well, why vote? Why should vote? It's their free speech. Why shouldn't they be able to, support Biden and have their point of view and use their free speech? Take your misplaced anger out on Fox News, who, they're unethical and wrong. Do you not? I literally wrote her and I was like, do you not see how hypocritical that sounds? So the outlet that you're in line with can say their beliefs all day long, but then the other one has to shut the fuck up. Do you not see how crazy that sounds? Like I said before, it's on all sides. Everyone has an agenda now. It's Fox with their little narrative and Trump rocks. It's CNN with their little narrative and Trump is Satan. It's MSNBC. It's apparently Variety. It's everyone now. So it's just sad. It's just sad. And then, but here is the grand finale. Here's the one that really got me being like, how the fuck? I said to this person, if this were all pro-Trump and skewed toward Trump, I'd be saying the same thing. I would say that's bullshit and say that's dishonest and not fair and not equal, not giving everybody a shot and a chance to speak and have a platform. I would say the same ass thing. And I said that to this person, okay? This was their response to that. Racism should be given neutral treatment as if it's a valid opinion. And then they said, keep your twisted value system to yourself. All I'm going to say is, what does that say about you? I mean, that's just sad. What does that say about you at this point? How you view the world and how you've let these narratives creep so far into your souls that you literally justified jumping from point A to point B. How insane is that? I also had a friend who is also in the media space chime in. This was heated, guys. And you can go, although I think one of the people have been reported and removed because I don't see their comments anymore. But regardless, you can go on the Vogue post and see it all for yourself. It's there. I had a friend a friend of mine chimed in and said, another thing is we just want an escape. Like the Vogues and the Varieties, we just want to hear about entertainment. We just want to hear about fashion. Like, why are you guys now telling us who to vote for? That friend of mine got blasted, I think by one of these people, one of these trolls coming out of their caves, calling her an ignorant white woman. Ignorant because she wants an escape and is making a valid point. That's the thing that's so scary. is that she and I both said completely neutral things, and we were personally attacked. I know that people are so fired up. I get fired up. I start judging people. Like I said, buy into this, and I hate it. I hate that I do. Think to yourself while this is happening, one, I'm letting these people, these editors, these VPs, these producers who are so ingrained one way or the other, I'm letting them get under my skin, and I'm letting them make me feel angry and spiteful and divided to the other side or whatever side. Is this the kind of world that you want to live in? Do you want to live in a world where every bit of information that you're taking in has been vetted by an organization and all of these people who think one way or the other and think that you're so fucking stupid that you can't even make a decision for yourself? This is woke. This is being woke. Looking at these narratives that people are trying to spoon feed you and realizing and being awake and conscious enough to go, oh my God, it's working. It's working. I feel so extreme one way or the other, and I'm going to hate someone on the other side one way or the other. When in most cases or in some cases, you know nothing about these people. Just think about that. Really think about that. We deserve to use our own goddamn brains and think for ourselves. And if you're not about that, then go back to bed.